On this episode of the Junior Wakefield Show, I have a special guest, Big Mike. I believe everyone has greatness in them. As a personal trainer, it's my goal to get people to push themselves and to see the greatness in them that I see. And some people have stories so great, so incredible, I felt the need to share them with the world. Join me as I sit down and talk with some of the people who define greatness in our generation. This is the Junior Wakefield Show. Welcome to the Junior Wakefield Show. I'm Junior Wakefield. Today, my special guest is a really good friend of mine for 15, 20 years. We've visited nightclubs together. We've hung out. I don't like Baylor, but he's a Baylor alum. I cook better ribs than he does, but he still tries. So there's quite a few things that we have different opinions about. And so today we're going to talk about those opinions. We're not going to start off with the ribs because I'm superior when it comes to the ribs. But my special guest today is a man, a father, what do you call a guy that's about to get married? Because you call him, a fiance, I guess. Who is a coach, who's a motivator, who is my insurance agent. So I'd like to welcome to the Junior Wakefield Show my special guest, Michael Johnson. Big Mike.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I am good. Now, first of all, can I get to the rib thing?
No, we don't start with the rib thing. Let it sink in. Let it sink in.
I mean, the last time that happened, I did take first.
You did.
Officially.
That was a long time ago. Right. And we don't go back in the past when it comes to those number of years ago.
Blame it on COVID.
We're going to blame it on COVID. That was way before COVID. Right. However you want to do it. Man, Mike, what's been going on? Man, you got so many different things going on.
Well, yes. Obviously, just 2020 obviously is one of those years for all of us. It's a whole lot going on. Business hasn't stopped. Life hasn't stopped. Kids haven't stopped. The bills don't stop coming in.
No.
So it's just one of those years. But you know what? In all honesty, man, we're here. And, and that's the way you have to almost approach 2020. It's like, look, we're here. Whatever happens, happens. Wake up, have a cup of change. Because something's going to happen, and you just keep it moving.
And I like that part where you say a cup of change because, the unexpected happened with COVID. The unexpected happened in 2020. Yeah. For some of us, it's been a horrible, horrific year, not just with COVID, but just with other things. And the one thing that has been most consistent about 2020 is change.
Yeah.
Because we have to adapt and we have to change to so much. Now, I want to get back, before we get back into change, I want to talk to you about a little bit. Now, you are a Baylor alum.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And
proud.
Now,
wait. We're struggling right now. We were doing our thing last year, and now, of course, change. We had a new coach. We were talking football. Even my Baylor girls, the Monday, it's just, it's just a little bit out of sync, but we're going to be all right. We're the defending national champions because there was no national champions last year. So I'm going to ride that out until somebody takes that crown.
Just like I'm riding the barbecue out. So we'll take that one too. Yeah. Now, also Andrew, the voice of God, is from Baylor because he's wearing the Baylor mask. Yeah. Can you hear us, Andrew?
There it is.
Check. Absolutely. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Check.
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect. Now, he's walking around with the Baylor mask on, so he knew you were coming in, and I told him about that.
Nice.
So
I need me a Baylor mask.
You need a Baylor mask.
I need
there
to
you
get me
go.
one of those. Right.
Well, good. Now, we talked about Baylor. You played football at Baylor.
Yes.
Highly recruited out of high school. You get to Baylor. It's a different change. The time that you went to school, Baylor was a lot different than what it is today.
True.
But you're different because you just didn't stop going to Baylor. After the time that you graduated, you continued to be involved in Baylor.
Yeah.
So can you explain a couple of things that you're doing with the University of Baylor?
Well, I went there, graduated 94, 98, and then graduated in 99, so it's been a little minute. But afterwards, got really involved. Let's back up. When athletes kind of have a tendency to leave college, whatever reasons they have in their mind, they may not be as active. Because a lot of times what you find is that they are done playing the sport thing, and then they have to get into the real world, and then the real world says we don't care about what you did in sports. It's about what you can do today and moving forward. So a lot of them kind of have a little bit of animosity, but that's because when you think about it, everything's been given to them forever. Everybody's done everything for them. So when they get out, it's the first time that they actually have to do it on their own. There's no and nobody's applauding you. Nobody's patting you on the back.
Yep.
It's like, hey, you got to get out here and make it happen. So I think a lot of times you find that athletes will stay away for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then they get over it, and then they come back into the fold. I ended up getting back involved with the Baylor B Association, which is our Letterman's Association. Got involved back in 2013, 2012, and got really, really involved. Actually, I'm the president of the B Association this year. Tough year. Think about that. We talked about change yet again. Didn't get the chance to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do as far as the goals, but that's okay. We actually have our year-end meeting on Thursday, and it's Zoom meeting. You see how that works? I mean, it's like everything, and you're talking about, the fellowship, and you go to the game, and you get to see all your guys and all of the family and the kids and the blah, 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 and that's taken away, but that's okay. So we got involved in that, really involved in that. I'll continue to be involved with Baylor, both, as far as the Letterman's ex-athletes. I do a lot of mentoring. We have a mentorship leadership program that I'm very involved in because I think it's important. I mentioned how a lot of athletes will leave and not be involved in the school for 5 or 10 years because there's really no connection. So I'm trying to connect back to say, hey, listen, here's what we can do to help you transition into the real world, which is which will help them kind of get over the whole attitude thing, so to speak.
Wow, well that's pretty awesome, especially with Baylor. Now, just like the Big 12, and I got to mention the Big 12, we have a struggle, with the change and stuff this year, with some schools starting school earlier, some doing later, some trying to do virtual, some trying to come in person, and so forth. And I'm using Baylor as an example.
Sure.
With your kids, because you have 2 boys.
Yeah, and my stepdaughter.
And your stepdaughter. And have you seen a difference in education when it comes to virtual and it comes to in-person?
Yeah, what's amazing about that, like my stepdaughter is with me, my 2 boys are with my ex-wife, but they are in school. They actually go, and my stepdaughter's virtual. So it's 2 different worlds. And it was based off and they kept switching back. Well, actually, the boys was like, we're going. She was kind of going back and forth if she was going to go, if she wasn't going to go. But she decided to go virtual. She's done well. I mean, she says that she's learning very well, 5 A's and a 1 B. So she's doing her thing. But I think sometimes after she's done for her, she has to go to track practice at 3:20, 3:30 every day. So we have to get her to track practice. You think about that 3:30 time slot is a tough time slot for parents.
Yes, most definitely.
Right. So, and then Uber, is like, we had to shoot an Uber sometimes just to kind of make it happen. Exactly. So there's a cost to that. So anyway, it is what it is. The boys are at school. I think they're at school because boys are a little bit more like that, Plus they're in sports. So they have to, they have to be in school, so to speak. Sports that they're playing in the fall, she's more of a spring sport. So anyway, it is what it is, and we all adjusted and they're doing fine. I mean, education wise, I think, it's a mindset as far as, how they approach their studies. My youngest, Jace, that virtual world, no. We figured that out in the spring. That boy was like, we was like, you know what, man, this is not what you need. He needs to be, and he got it. That's just not him.
Yeah.
So it's certain ones that it's just not how they operate. So, and that's okay. We all learn different. So
now I think it's funny. So we got to give a shout out to Josh because he's playing football this Friday night in the Texas High School playoffs against Roy City.
Yes, at the Star.
And they're playing at the Star.
Yeah. He goes to Frisco High, yes.
He goes to Frisco High, the Frisco Raccoons.
The Raccoons, yes, absolutely.
How's he doing?
He's doing fine. You know what? I mean, he's a freshman. He's a true freshman. He's an ultra athlete, which we kind of knew when football, as far as football is concerned, we had a conversation around this. you know, being an ex-football player, you know, experience is experience. You kind of learn the do's and don'ts, like what I would like to see my kids do, but ultimately they're going to do what they do.
Of course.
You know, but, you know, I remember I was saying, hey, you know, if he makes JV starting, I'm happy. You know, I'm okay with that because I didn't want him to get in there and be playing against juniors and seniors and he's not physically and mentally ready. Well, the coach hit me up. He called and was like, hey, Mr. Johnson, this is Coach Hibbert. We want to try your son out on varsity. Is that okay? I said, well, let me talk to him. Let me talk to his mom. And is it okay I call you back or text you a little later on tonight? He said, sure. So I had talked to Joshua. I said, you know, what do you want to do? And he was like, I want to go play. I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, I want to go play. Now, they had him at tight end. He's a defensive tackle. He's a DT. That's his position, in my opinion. But I never saw him as a tight end either. But he's so fast for his size. It's ridiculous. So he's out there. He's physical. So they got in their running team. So they got him blocking and doing a lot of physical blocking. And they're killing it. And he absolutely came in. His first game, didn't play not 1 minute, not a second. And he was just like, and I remember after the game I had to tell him, I said, hey, I said, listen, everything is earned. It's not given. I said, only between these hash marks, everything's earned. You got to get in here and show. And the way you show him is in practice. I said, you show the coach that he can depend on you. He was like, well, Dad, I just, you know, I'm playing hard. I said, listen to me. I said, let me be clear. I said, if I was the head coach, I wouldn't play you. I said, I wouldn't. I said, because I would play that junior and senior because that junior and senior earned it. I said, until you can show me otherwise. I said, now when you show them otherwise, they'll show you. Next game he played, maybe, and I told him, I said, go play special teams. You know, to him, Mr. All that. He was like, special? I'm like, yes, special teams. You're playing. And he was like, okay, I actually asked Coach. Coach was like, nah, we're going to try to get you in a little bit get you in more. They started working him in little by little, and then he became the starter. So he started, great team. They're ranked number 4 in the nation, in the state. In 5A, which they lost one. They lost to Lovejoy. They was undefeated. Both of them was undefeated. So, but playoffs are here. I'll be there Friday.
There you go.
And we're gonna make it happen
at the start against Royce City.
At the start, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So, which is good.
I'll probably be there at 6 o'clock, and I probably have 3 adult beverages in me, so that the game flows much better.
The game won't flow much better.
I'll be the only one doing that.
In his mind.
That's right.
Now I think. Did y'all heard that? Mike said he's buying drinks for everybody that shows up at 6.
Yes.
Yeah. It shows up at 6.
Yeah, show up at 6. You don't know where I'm at showing up, but yeah.
There you go. Show up at 6 and you have to start.
You see how that works?
Sure does. So, and just to give a shout out, we do have 2 mics in the room. We have Michael Price and also Anthony Mitchmore on the side over here cheering us on. So,
yes.
which is
Big
good.
Mike,
No, I'm
the
sorry.
official Big Mike.
Big Mike.
That's right.
Big Michael.
Michael. Whatever he wants to call it.
Anthony.
That's
so
right.
that we'll leave it at that one. Now, Mike, as we talked about change, we talked about sports, we talked about the kids. Now, you're in the insurance business.
Yes.
You're in the insurance business, and you are both Michael Price and myself's insurance agent. So when it comes to insurance, what is important, especially now, because 2020 threw us a loop.
Yeah.
You know, the finances weren't there that you normally make. You know, people with COVID, everybody was shut down and people couldn't work and so forth. So what are some of the things that we need to look forward to, not just here at the end of 2020, but with 2021?
You know, I think that, both of y'all are excellent. I mean, Mike, tremendous amount of business. You, tremendous amount of business. Thank you. Really mean
Price
that.
Out there.
I think that, I think we kind of say the same things about 2020. But we had to make it through it. It was a challenge, not just for the United States or Texas. It was for the world. But we had to figure out how to get through that. I think the challenge was really a lot of socially. You know, we all kind of you find yourself. I know I found myself having 4 Crown and Cokes instead of the 2 that I normally have. And that was a little too much, so I had to shut that down. But, 2020 is fine. I mean, we're working through it. It's December. We're looking forward. I mean, obviously, from the whole news aspect as far as vaccines, et cetera, et cetera. I think 21 is going to be a year that's we're going to find a lot. Obviously, with the transition of the government, that's all critical in what everything pertains to life, not just in life.
Just life.
Period.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be okay. bottom line is we got to do what we have to do for our households. You know, we have to continue to set that tone for our households. Get your butt up, get into work, do your job, lead, work hard, and eventually, I believe, it all has a tendency to work itself out. You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly what you're saying.
and I think, you know, I don't think it's not a mystery. It's no, you know, it is what it is. It's a slow-paced process. It's a marathon, but you can set the pace. Do you understand what I mean? When people say marathon, like you can set that pace, you know. And I think 21 is going to be strong. As far as insurance is concerned, obviously for every insurance company, you know, these cars, there was no cars on the road. There's no risk. There was very little risk. Let's just be honest. State Farm, which is where I'm with, you know, they decided to they took the biggest discount at all insurance company. Nobody really said nothing, and it was by double digits bigger than everybody else. But they didn't really say a whole lot, but they did, and it showed up. As far as moving forward, they're going to play that. They're playing it by ear, because the more this goes out there, the more that goes up. So we'll see how that works, and we'll proceed accordingly. You know, I'm just glad that they did their part and really took some major decreases to help people, you know, during these times. Because I had one client, I'll never forget this, and this is when COVID first came out, and she had a busted tire on the side of the road. So she called the office. She was on her way to the doctor with a friend that had COVID, and she had COVID. This is when it first came, so we don't really know everything. You know, it's kind of new to everybody. And I remember she called, and was like, my tire's busted, and I don't have. And she was like, she's coughing. I'm like, okay, so the people coming to tow her, we got to let them know she has COVID, number one, and without scaring them, and she did, and this lady has 2 children, and she has a 6-year-old and a 8-year-old, I believe it is. But she said, Mike, I was in the room for 9-10 days. My kids had to operate on their own by themselves. The thing, a 6 and 8-year-old, she's like, I'm screaming through the door and stuff, and I'm just like, that's the world we're in, you know, and it is what it is what it is. And she recovered, because 99% of people do. I mean, and she's doing fine now. But I thought about that, like, wow, you know.
Well, sometimes I wish I could have got a virtual butt whooping back when I was growing up, but everything was physical back.
Right.
So that
hand to hand.
That would happen. Now, you know, the many different things we talked about, and we're going to jump on a little bit. You just bought a new house.
I did.
Wow. In the city of Parker.
I did.
It really, and you know, it's because of our sizes, and I wish I would have had a picture, because there was a picture of when I was surrounded by both Big Mikes, the Michael Price here, and I had you over here. It was on my birthday, and we were at Top Golf.
Yeah, that's right.
And boy, I don't know how that structure held all of us, but it did anyway. So
Mike lost. Mike, I told him he about to model.
He
getting damn near model size. And me, I'm looking a little heavy on this HD TV, but you know, Mike looking good.
But Mike didn't get a little scared. You know,
he got to go shopping. He's shopping.
He don't go to big boy stores anymore.
No, see, big and tall, he got away from that.
He got away from big and tall. He going to men's warehouse.
I'm jealous. I'm a hater.
You're like, oh my goodness, wow.
Right.
So
he go to the mall now.
That's right, because you know
he go to the mall. Like I go to the mall and get socks and drawers.
That's exactly what we're doing.
And a tie.
Him. He's around that Andrew and Anthony size.
That's right. That's
all
right.
We don't worry about it. You know, we took the Big Mike title off of him. Big Mike. He's just now Michael.
That's right.
We just say Michael Price
with emphasis, like you know.
Yeah.
That's
emphasis.
right. That's right.
Pinky ring. He knows anybody that knows Michael Price. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, you work out with me.
Yeah. Working out, like, you know.
What's it like?
I mean, just the whole workout piece. I know you had mentioned, I mean, here's the deal. And working out, honestly, it truly is a mental challenge. And I'm being 1,000,000% honest, because there's so many different factors to it. Obviously, you have the whole eating factor. You have the whole working out factor. And then you just have to just manage everything in between. You know, I've had some ups, I had some downs. I will say that, like I mentioned, the older I've gotten, the weight is becoming really more of an issue, you know. And I don't like that, so I may have to change my domain name from Big Mike. But we'll get over that hurdle later on.
That's okay.
But you know, it really is to the point where you just have to start getting it off. You wake up different, you feel different. The joints are different. And I play football, so it's multiplied. You know, all that good stuff. So and when you do work out, honestly, it sucks getting up in the morning, but when you're done, you feel good.
You feel great.
You feel good. It's amazing. And when I'm talking about feel good, I'm talking about your focus at work. You know, everything else is kind of lines up. You know, you get a little tired at night. I slept well last night because we worked out.
Yeah. And
that felt good. So it is what it is. It's a challenge. I think it's a challenge for everybody, even those that work out every day. But it's doable. You just got to be really laser focused on it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And it's always nice to have somebody that's always yelling at you every now and then to kind of keep you focused.
Yeah.
So,
you know, the more I've gotten older, I think accountability and, you know, coaches have helped me, you know, and some people say, what you need that for? You know, and that's just what I need, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so be it, you know, and you know, we got to get after it. So.
Yep. So everybody's different. Now we have a couple of pictures that we pulled off, and I want you to kind of explain each picture. Now, what is this?
Oh man, that's my picture. That's my fraternity sign. It's Kappa Alpha Psi. We're supposed to be a rabbit, but that was I think that was at a wedding. And everything, had a good time there. That's my family. That's my two boys, my stepdaughter and my fiance. We were at I got the Hall of Fame inductee plaque for that, and we was on the field getting that. That was back last year, 2 years ago. That's us at a concert when, you know, we used to go to concerts and have a life, you know, and everything. So we really enjoyed that. She loves concerts because she go to them. I was concert out, you know, truth be told. So it was good to have a break.
Yeah, boy, that big smile.
And then that was actually at our company function. It was actually in December, probably about last year. It was last year, December. That was our wine thing that we did, kind of team building thing. So it worked out well. Awesome. I had a good time.
Now, the things that we talked about and the things that you do a lot of mentorship and you give back a lot to the University of Baylor. You help your boys. You've coached teams.
Yes.
We work out. You like your Crown and Cokes.
Yes.
You also like cooking. You like cooking on the grill and different things like that. You're engaged because your wedding was supposed to be last year, but because of COVID, it moved it back to 2021. Right?
We were going to get married October 30th, which was supposed to be the case. We had everything signed, lined up, Punta Cana, destination. You know, that way you get in there, have a good time, everybody drink, lay out in the pool, do what you do, celebrate and go home. You know, obviously that changed, so we pushed it back 1 year. Then of course when I pushed that back, here comes this house. You know? The house popped up out of nowhere.
Gotcha.
You know, so did that, and then so. But we're looking forward to that in October. We'll probably end up doing it officially around town. Just go get it done, and then we'll do a celebration in October.
That's pretty awesome. Now, let me just say, Punta Cana would have been great.
Yes.
But that house is a pretty nice house. That is a pretty nice house.
Hey,
when you go, wait.
10 years. I was telling Mike. I was like, 10 years, man. I've been. You gotta crawl. Listen, and I really mean this. In life. And I remember I had a client come to the office, and one of my clients paid $192,000 for a Mercedes, shipped it over, cash, okay? And I was like, whoa, and they came in there talking, and they're telling my team, and I remember my team was like, man, how did they do that? And I just told them, I said, look, it takes time. I said, everything has a season. You have to get to that point. I said, you know, in the beginning, you're not going to have a lot. But if you keep doing what you're supposed to do, then eventually you might be in a position to do something like that. So the same thing applies to the home purchase piece. I mean, we had a house, but then it was at that point, you know, I'm 10 years in my business, and I've worked my tail off. I was saying, Mike, man, I robbed Peter to pay Paul. Really, truly, when I first opened up, didn't have a lot. But what I had is I didn't do a shotgun approach to everything. It was laser focused, because when you don't have no money, that's what you do.
That's what you do.
You see what I'm saying? Rich people, sometimes having money is a problem, you see, because you don't pay attention to stuff. So the detail that I had to do And the emphasis on the little things was what actually, drove the culture in my office, and it's still to this day.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, awesome.
Yeah, so.
Well, Big Mike Johnson, if you guys ever want, go make sure you go see Big Mike Johnson. Your shop is, the office is in McKinney.
Yes.
It's a State Farm. Answer all your insurance questions and so forth you have. You can also catch him on all the social medias. Now, Michael, before we get out of here, is there any shout outs you'd like to give out to?
Just shout out to I would say to my family, obviously, to my kids, and we have discussions and conversations, and that's part of life. What we do it because it's necessary. I think they'll thank me, or they'll agree with me, or maybe not a little later on. But you got to have those conversations. I want to thank my team at my office. They're doing a magnificent job. Truth be told, they really do. And a lot of times I know we sit here, and I'm sitting here now, and they handle their business, and I appreciate them for doing that and setting the mark, and being able to. So that's a beautiful thing. We accomplished some unbelievable goals. We're number one in the Frisco, Allen, McKinney, Plano territory. Number one office.
That's awesome.
We're number 5 in DFW. So when you're talking about all that, so we've done some crazy, magnificent things. So I'm thankful for them. I thank the people that make that go. I mean, I know, and it's easy to say that because y'all here, but I say that regardless. I think that my clients, the ones that chose, they have choices. Mike has choices. You have a choice. You can go anywhere. You do. And there's times I'm pretty sure, damn it, you probably thought, Mike, I need to go, this is too damn much or whatever. But then again, we're competitive, but we do provide more than just price. It's a service thing. He just mentioned, hey, I got my guy calling in right now. I don't have time to be spending 6, 7, 8 days waiting for somebody to respond. I need to get this done so I can get it out and I can keep it moving.
Yep.
And that's the way people got to operate, especially in today's time.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm thankful for all of that, and that's what's up.
Wow. Well, also, if you do call Mike, and you get his personal number, which we'll put it on the screen. I'm joking here. The first question is, Michael, what are you wearing? No, I'm just playing.
Khakis.
Yeah. No.
You should have my khaki picture. I went bought some khakis. I hate khakis too. But I went bought some.
And get your red
shirt.
I
wore them one time. Yeah.
That was it. That was enough. Well, I have to thank Real News PR for the staff and for them giving me this opportunity, this platform. I also think the guys who are always standing here, Michael Price, also just Anthony. And Andrew, the voice of God, he's just amazing. Keeps us on point. Flashed that 2-minute sign up just a while ago, and now we're on 5 minutes later. So I'm gonna close this out pretty quick. Give a shout out to my dad. Dad, I hope you're feeling better. Every day is a great day. So keep getting better. My shout out to my son Zachary, who just had a chemo treatment yesterday. He'll have another one coming up. So a shout out to him. We're gonna kick cancer's butt.
That's right.
I started to say ass, but too late. I already said it now. Sorry. So either way, give a shout out to the family. Give a shout out to all the workout groups and the people that are out there. And I appreciate you guys taking the opportunity to be able to view the Junior Wakefield Show. It's nice to have inspiring people such as Michael and the things that he does to hear about it, because the many different celebrities, some of us we can't relate, but we can relate to normal people. And having a conversation with Michael in the number of years that we've known each other, it has been amazing. I mean, because we go back and forth and we learn so much from each other. And so it is an honor and a pleasure to have you here, but also to put our conversations that we normally have when we work out for everybody else to see.
Absolutely.
And just to let you know, so Michael and I were probably like 1-1 when it comes to a rib cook-off. I know Anthony's over there sitting around and he's like, well, I want to jump in this too. So we are going to invite Michael Johnson and just Anthony to have a rib cook-off after the first of the year, to come back on the show and let everybody taste it. What'd you say?
Defending champ. That's all I can say to the people. Defending champ. That's it. We'll leave it there because we only get 2 minutes.
We ain't got 2 minutes. We're over 2 minutes.
So, all right. Defending champ. I'll leave it on that.
Defending champ. Now, hey, all you guys that have to watch the Junior Wakefield Show, get ready because we're about to do What's on Your Plate. Michael Johnson is going to be here. We got Michael Price and Anthony. We're gonna have some dudes on the table, and we're gonna crank it up. Thank you guys for watching the Junior Wakefield Show. I appreciate everybody being out there. Thank you, and you guys have a wonderful day.
Have a good one.